I'm in Madrid for the 12th EACPT Congress. Robert, would you start by commenting on what's important about drug standards when we talk about drug information?
Decision support systems are made to protect physicians so that they make the right choices and do not make errors or cause harm with the patients. Sometimes it happens because the information that they need is not available, and then they can be warned by decision support systems. For these systems to work well, they need to be very sophisticated. They need to be interlinked with the local drug database at a very deep level, at the detail, for instance, making the difference between a capsule and a syrup. And on the other hand, it needs to interact with the data in the files of the doctor on the patients, the clinical data. And in order that to have all these pieces of information work together in concert, it needs to be standardized and able to work with each other. The data in the file and the data in the knowledge base system.
Ylva, would you like to extend the discussion to application of expert decision support systems in your Swedish experience?
Yes, I completely agree with the necessity of having standardized drug names or registers in the bottom as building blocks. And then you have to have the scientific and the clinical knowledge put into these knowledge databases. And further, you also have to work scientists and technicians together to have something that functions for the end user to get the right information at the right moment, preferably just sort of with the patient in the room making the decisions.
And Linda, what is the importance of drug information centres to reinforce the expert online systems?
Well, the drug information centers are there to help when physicians and pharmacists and any healthcare professionals feel they can't find the answer any other way. And it's difficult to find the answer these days with a lot of literature.
You talked about the elderly, about more complex patients, more complex drugs, the complexity of the databases to search. Mm-hmm. So can you give some examples of where medicine is becoming more complex, more difficult, where drug information centres are increasingly important?
Well, we know the complexity of the drug treatment is increasing, and the elderly population is increasing, and I think there will be an endless number of drug-related queries that need to be resolved. So,
even if the information is out there and you can easily click your way to a scientific paper, you still have to sit down to read it, evaluate it, compile it into clinical advice. And that takes both a lot of training and a lot of time that is not available in the very pressed clinical work.
And from an organizational point of view, the fact that you have these drug information centers answering questions from the physicians also makes that you have a pool of professionals who are really savvy in this field and who can participate also in the development of the decision support systems, which are another form, an electronic form, but they need to be fed by the same type of people with the same expertise. Yeah. And you need that pool of experts, otherwise your systems will not function.
Yeah, that's very true for the situation in Sweden. When we have been working with the decision support system, that has developed directly from the question and answer service that we have been trained with for several decades. So it's really the same working method, the same literature sources, and the same professionals that do both.
From my experience in clinical practice, we're in a global world. I may, for example, have a patient from Bulgaria with medicines unfamiliar names to me, and it's very helpful to have a person or a department to contact who can access international databases in real time for patients with urgent problems to be able to advise.
But that also, you can also turn it around. If you produce a very good database in Sweden, evidence should have no border. It is universal. But yes, there are so many hurdles. There are other drugs lists, there are other languages, and there comes help from the new information technologies that can help a knowledge database producer from a Nordic country to have also a possibility to work with software vendors in the south of France.
As a further question, in the UK, for example, we have specialist nurse prescribers, pharmacist prescribers, as well as medical prescribers. What is the situation in your respective countries?
In Norway, midwives have some prescribers' rights, and they're discussing pharmacists as well, but not yet. So.
In Belgium, the prescribing rights are for the doctor, but the Drug Information Center and all the services is open to everybody, also the patients.
And in Sweden?
In Sweden, we have mainly physician prescribers. Some nurses can prescribe some drugs. But again, the Drug Information Center is open to all health professionals, not yet to the public, though.
Thank you all very much indeed.